Okay, now can you see me? I didn't realize I hadn't hit live, so let me go back. Hi, everybody. How you doing? I've been talking to myself. Melissa B is waiting for me. She is in the greenhouse, the green room. Hi. All right, all right. Oh, can't see nothing. Can't see nothing. Oh, here we go. Gonna bring. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. Who can hear me? He's wearing glasses. Odd. Odd, you're blue tonight. Hey, Billy. How you doing? Can anybody? I see a yup. That's Melissa. All right. So we're gonna bring Melissa in. Hi, Melissa.
Hi, Tia. Hey, everybody.
I can hear you really good, Melissa.
Wow. Cool. Probably hear my squeaky chair, too.
Oh, look at that. Okay. Alrighty. Looks like we're gonna get started. I'm blind, y'all. Dawn said she can hear me. Good, good, good. Let me real quickly go down the line. I am sorry I am late. I endeavored to be here right at 10 o'clock on the dot, and my camera wasn't plugged in. And I was like, what's going on? I forgot that I had unplugged the camera to use my laptop today. And Robert says, hi, Tia, I'm here. Hope you're doing great tonight. I am. I'm having a pretty decent night. Hi, Linda. Melissa B is in here on time. Look at that. I'm so happy. And we have, I already said hi, but hi again, Billy. And Bree is here. Dawn is.
Hey, Odd. Are you asking if that's Witch's hat, Essia's hat, or are you seeing something, talk about something else?
Hmm?
Steven said hi, Tia.
Hi, baby. How are you? Is that her hat?
You got to come closer. You're too far.
Yes. Odd says it's midnight here. I may not last long. I'm getting a migraine. That's no bueno. Hi, Jeremy. How are ya? All right. All right.
If you're asking, yes, this is Cassia's hat.
Man, I'm blind.
We lost the creator.
All right. So first and foremost, I want to thank everybody for joining us. This is our second session, number 2 of Night Sessions with me and Melissa B. And tonight we are going to be discussing aspects of the Me Too movement. Obviously, that's been a controversy that kind of kicked off with Mr. Harvey Weinstein, and one of the biggest things that came from that is that there was, from positions of men in positions of power and in positions of maybe authority, kind of taking advantage and reportedly sexually assaulting, I guess is the best term, to some extent where, legal ramifications were involved. So I wanted to discuss that. Hi, Linda. How are you? The other Linda, Miss Womack. Wanted to discuss that. Obviously, like I said, one of the biggest things that I want to do here is to make sure that we get a chance to discuss some of the more controversial, topics that we that I would never discuss like during my crafting time. I feel like that's the time where, we're having a good time, we're crafting. I put someone on and I listen. But when we do the night sessions, it's time to get busy. We're going to like talk. Anyway, so our first segment, I wanted to kind of touch on that. I mentioned it to Melissa, and Melissa was like, "Well, I don't know, because I have opinions," which is what this is about. So I'm going to turn it over to Miss Melissa B, so she can give me her opinions. Go ahead, Melissa.
Well, which am I giving you my opinion on first?
We're going to start off with segment
Because
one, which is Me Too movement and the sexual allegations, that came. There were, just to kind of set the tone, there were some heavy hitters, Mark Lowry, Harvey Weinstein, Kevin Spacey. There were some big names that were associated with, these types of allegations and coming up on charges. People lost jobs, they lost television shows. What are your, thoughts on that?
well, first, my heart was broken when I heard this about Kevin Spacey because I talked to him on the phone. I
I
actually
remember,
talked to the man on the phone.
yes.
So yeah, that was kind of devastating to hear that. But at the same time, okay, we have some of these people that have actually admitted to it in one fashion or another, or admitted their behavior may have been misconstrued or mistaken, misunderstood. Um, could they be using that to cover up to make it look like, let's let's use Kevin Spacey as a hypothetical, okay? Now let's not use Kevin Spacey as a hypothetical because his advances to where on the people they were legitimate. There was nothing. I mean, let's face it, he was making advances on men, so he knew. He knew. But let's change this and let's just make this a male female scenario. My husband is a prime example of somebody who will go up to a friend and put his arm around her, give her a hug. Ain't nothing wrong with that. They're friends.
Correct.
There's casino cocktail waitresses known for years before we got married that he would go to the casino and walk up and say, "Hey, babe, give me a beer." At that time, it was okay to do that. It was safe. You could say, "Sweetie, honey," and mean it in a respectful sign of affection to somebody that may have needed it at that time. We don't
Right.
have that now. God forbid if somebody calls somebody honey or sweetie, or you have a server that says, "Hey, sweetie, could I have a cup of coffee?" All of a sudden, oh my God, the whole world's come to an end. Now it's time to file charges and bullshit.
That's true.
That's what I
Now,
got to say about that.
let me ask you,
This,
in every case, in for me, and I want to make sure that right now I am pushing the Hollywood angle and the Hollywood aspect. And the reason I'm saying that, they are at this point just allegations. I agree, Linda. I definitely agree. One of the biggest issues that I have, and this conversation started between my mom and my daughter and myself. Um, One of the biggest issues that I think I have when it comes to, Hollywood producers and hit makers being accused, like Linda said, these right now are allegations. One of the
or
biggest
just
issues,
accusations, exactly.
correct. How many of them saw stars in their eyes? If I'm a man and I'm in a position to be able to put a woman into a movie, set her up with $1 million paycheck, and then she can go on and create more $1 million paychecks. How many women do you think are going to be winking at me to try to get my attention? And so that's what
Oh,
I
they're all over the place.
thank you. You're a dime a dozen. You come 1 in 2 million at this point. So what do you do if you have those dollar signs and you want to be an actress who has $1 million paycheck to set yourself aside, or to create a way to be recognized, what do? Because everybody can't sing
You put yourself
hello
out there.
Dolly. Exactly,
You are
everyone
putting
can.
yourself out there. You're doing anything and everything you can to gain that spotlight. And that's why I was getting ready to say there's so many cases, and we're going to use Hollywood, but we're also going to use athletes.
Correct.
You trying to get this person's attention. You may want an autograph, or you might want a spotlight in, like you said, an audition, or however it is, you want this attention. You're not getting it. So you're going to create like a diversion for your attention. You're going to put this person's name out there. You're going to accuse something they did not do because your butt hurt, or well, I didn't get this audition, but I'm going to get more attention this way. I'm going to bring ramifications for something to kind of it's like blackmail. I'm getting you back. Now I know that's not all cases. Not everybody's innocent, but also not everybody's guilty.
Correct.
But it makes it bad for the innocent people. The bad people make it for with anything else that happens. Anything, even outside of this topic.
That is true.
But because we're on this topic, they're going to believe them
Well, one of the things.
because, well, they said it happened. So now they have to investigate it. If they don't investigate it, then for the one, then they know it's put out there that it's acceptable for this behavior. That people they're going to do it because they're not going to investigate it. They're not going to check it out.
Which is the
The
norm,
thing
and
is,
what occurred before. I mean, I'm gonna tell you, my
right,
mother. You guys all know my mom. We are very close. We talk about a lot of this stuff, especially before maybe I go on live and things. A lot of our discussions are what we go on to then discuss, online. Um, so I forget what we were
yeah,
watching. We were watching something that brought it up, and I said, that'll be a great topic to kind of discuss. But she's old school, and she feels like, what in the hell were you doing in someone's hotel room at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning? Are you serious? You mean to tell me you didn't know you're going to their room? It's different if they followed you back. You go to put the key in, they knock you upside your head, dry room. But you're at their room. It's just you and them. How come you
right.
didn't know? That takes me back when she said that to me saying, well, what were you planning on doing to set yourself aside from the other 2 million women that possibly catch this person who's in a position to change your life? You have this passion that you want to excel at. So, we had that discussion. That was the mindset. And then I felt guilty, and I tried to play my own devil's advocate. People like me that's talking like me are the reason. What if I needed to do a late night reading? What if they told me that that show is casting in the morning and this is the only opportunity that they have? What if, I've worked with them before and there was no issue? Yeah, I was a little in the background, but perhaps, someone recommended my name, and I'm trying to just, get in, hurry up, get it taken care of. It's all sorts of ways that I can play devil's advocate. Um, and obviously, leopard changes their what do they have, stripes? Tiger never changes their stripes, I guess. So
Right.
if they've done it to me, the likelihood is that they've probably done the same thing before. The power doesn't change, just the player or the position. So um, it was definitely interesting, and I wanted to just kind of rein in. Are there times where even if someone has put themselves in a position to where they should know, going in, be ready, drop the draws, you know what's going to happen. You come here without even saying it. You come here, we're going there. Is there that mindset? Is it right to have? What do you guys rein in on that?
No, well, it's not acceptable. It's not acceptable behavior. I mean, it's just not. And that they always, say, you hear the comments of, well, if they dress a certain way and they walk a certain way or talk a certain way, expect the behaviors that they're going to get from men. That's not acceptable no matter what. I mean, it's just not. But if you go in a situation saying you're going behind closed doors and you're famous or you're looking for fame and you've got somebody who can put you in that fame, 9 times out of 10, especially if you're not a big name, they're going to be expecting something to get you out there because you're a liability to them.
I agree.
But it's not acceptable. If you're going to go behind closed doors, you make sure you have somebody there with you. And it's best on both sides. Witnesses. It's like paper trail, make sure you save everything because you might need it. Well, you don't put yourself in that spot. And if you already have heard rumors about this said person that they've done this, and there's enough people to say, to kind of back it up, don't think you won't be the next one. Don't think that you're going to be anything special, that they're not going to do that to you, because 9 times out of 10, you're going to be the one too, acceptable or not. That's the animal behavior that we have. It's like animal instinct behavior within the human race.
Is there anybody that you can think of that, because this played, I think, a factor for me as well. Likability. Likability played probably a better factor than the movement itself. If there was someone that was like America's apple pie and their likability factor was higher than some others, did that change their believability?
No, I think everybody should be believed and should be checked on. I just don't think everybody should be accused. I mean, be led guilt or held guilty until there's enough. And like, okay, let's use this as an example, okay? Because we're hearing things 20 years ago. Jimmy was at a party and met Sally, and they had a few too many drinks, and he touched her inappropriately.
What's
But I
inappropriate?
didn't tell nobody. Sally didn't tell nobody. He brushed his hand accidentally on her behind, or put his hand on the small of her back and rubbed it. That's
Okay.
what. Now I don't consider that my opinion. Somebody puts their hand on the small of my back. I don't take that as inappropriate. Because women, you can be in a store and a woman needs you to move over and they'll put your hand just to kind of motion you over. I don't think that's inappropriate, but my God, some women do. So we're going to use that as a later example.
Okay.
Okay, but or say actually they were making out and he was going a little too far and she wasn't ready to unbutton that shirt, but he was popping that bra strap. All right, 20 years ago this happened, but you didn't tell anybody. Now Jimmy is writing a book. Jimmy's a bestseller, a New York Times bestseller, or Jimmy's now in politics. He's running for Senate or for some political position in your state. Now all of a sudden, oh yeah, I remember him. I remember that he did something to me when we were at a party and it just totally ruined my life. Up till now, it hadn't ruined my life, but now all of a sudden, my life is ruined. I've seen him again, and now I got to get it out there on what a horrible person he is because it was my time to shine, even though 20 years ago, it didn't bother me.
Well, you know why? Dre said it a few minutes.
Money.
It's all about the money, money, money. That's what it is. It's that price tag.
But then,
Yeah, you worth something
then you got
now.
these legitimate people. Well, you got the legitimate crimes that women have to fight tooth and nail, rehash the occurrence over and over again on public television in front of everybody to prove that this happened, and you still have people that don't believe it. But all of a sudden, this guy, it happened. This woman here is faking the tears and bringing all of her friends in that knew this guy, but they're like, well, yeah, she never told me about it. But yeah, I was there and I seen it happen, but she never told me. Huh?
It
You
definitely
better
is.
bet your ass I'm going to let somebody know if somebody's done something that I wasn't happy about. I'm going to let it known because I don't want it to happen to somebody else. And when you don't speak when it happens, it can happen to other people, and in a lot of cases does. But the longer the time goes by, you're really not a reliable source, especially when you hadn't seen this person. Now all of a sudden him, and now all of a sudden it happened. I
I
don't
agree.
buy I don't stand, I don't buy the Me Too movement. I just don't. I do not stand by that. I think
Do you feel
women,
like fuel was added to the fire
women,
because one person's allegations started to mount and then they became insurmountable? I mean, there was just so many people coming forward or stepping forward
oh
that
yeah,
now
oh yeah,
this has fuel to
yep,
it. So let's talk about every other instance where the mail carrier, he dropped a piece of mail as I was bending over, and the effect that the piece of mail gave my booty as it slithered down to the ground, I think he did it on purpose. Like you see additional
right,
stories now that have been, um, they've been ramped up. They've been definitely fueled, and there's more fluff out there, I guess, that now these people have to go to work to try to remove a stigma. Um, so I don't know. I mean, I don't know what side of the road is a better side to be on. Is it, taking it back to more innocent times where, girl, hush, we don't talk about that kind of stuff in public. We sweep things up under the rug, and we kind of keep it moving. You're okay, I'm okay. You got the part, didn't you? You got a check. You like this car you're driving. Look at you. You got this, penthouse apartment. So, those were the olden days where, the power worked for them. And now, like I said,
right.
he had people who he sneezed on me. He kind of got a kick out of it. It's a fetish of his. I want 3 million. Things of that nature. So where does the middle ground go? What do you do to kind of weed through? Some of the other things that I wonder about is the other side, because right now we literally are talking about women and their climb into whatever position that they want. Do you think that men could be a part of the Me Too movement? Because there were men who came, out and said that
Absolutely.
they were victims. Do you feel that they can?
Oh yeah, I mean, because you have women that are in power too. Now, and then in most cases, you won't see it too often because I mean, how many men? Let's be honest. I love the guys that are in here, Jeremy. Really, all you guys. This isn't you going your direction, but how many men will turn down a female?
It's true. That's
My
true.
husband told me his favorite saying is, "Men was put on this earth to um, achieve them as many women in their lifetime as possible." I'm like, that is such a horrible thing to say. He said, horrible or not, it's the truth. Because a man can go out, they can date all the women that they want to date, they can sleep with them all, have one night stands, and they get revered for it by the other men. Let a woman have a one night stand and sleep with somebody that first night, all of a sudden she's a slut. So, you will see more women turn down sexual advances than men will because it's that animal nature. And but I'm not, like I said, not all men like that. No, we're not going that far back. Um, the thing is, in society, it's always been, you know, women are the ones that are the most sought after for these behaviors. But there are men out there that are You know, I watched I mean, just stupid example. I watched an episode of Special Victims Unit where, and this is why I said I know I'm sure it does happen, even though it was televised. They don't come up with these stories without something that may have happened to, that occurred for them to
Ripped from the
create a storyline.
headlines. Yes. Ripped from the
Yeah,
headlines.
but there was a guy on this episode who was seeing his parole officer, and lo and behold, the parole officer was female. And because of her job, she's not one of those favorite people who that is a job that I wouldn't want is to be a parole officer because you're nobody's friend in that way, nobody. And she's always busy. No, she's got one of those jobs not appreciated. Blah blah blah. Those were the things she's saying.
Hmm.
But here, she had her parolees that she knew she had them, as he put it, by the short hairs. If they didn't do everything that she told them to do, she could actually have their parole revoked and they could go back to prison. So here, she was making her um, parolees sleep with her, or when they tested, or when she would piss test them, she could tell them or make it to where their piss came back positive, even though it was negative. So yeah, women can be just as scandalous as men if they feel that they need to be to fight for position or to be more recognized.
Well, what I'm gonna
So
say.
yeah, I believe that a man can be not.
Did you say something, hon?
But
Oh.
yeah, I think it's, I don't think it's equal, but because it's not equal. There's always going to be more women that fight that have these issues than men. But I think it does happen more times than we know.
Well, I definitely agree. Here's what I'm going to say, then I'm going to go to the chat commentary. I agree that men can be victims of sexual assault. I feel that sexual assault, especially in light of what we're discussing, which is that Me Too movement, where people were coming forward and they were simply, letting, you know, authority figures know that this happened to me and this is the person that did it. And what it actually highlighted to me was that people in positions of one, power, two, authority, who had the ability to impact your growth, because you can't. I mean, it's rape at that point. It's not sexual assault. It's rape when you just force yourself on me and
Right.
there's nothing, there's no what I consider consideration. Anybody who's studied the law had to go to school for legal terminology, enforceable, bindable contracts. You have to have a service or something tangible, and then you have to have a meeting of the mind. They call that consideration. So if there's no consideration on the table, that's rape. So for it to be
Yeah.
sexual assault, there's something that one person has to offer that the other person may want to obtain. That for me is what makes it assault. And the fact that one party is in a position of authority or a position of power over the other is what it takes to set that scenario in play. So for me, I feel it's possible,
Right.
whether it's a man or a woman, anytime you're in a position of power or authority over another, you have something to, extend that person wants. Like I said, otherwise it's rape. It's,
Yeah.
sexual assault, but it's based on rape. Like you're enforcing something and there is no consideration. There's nothing on the table. So now I'm going to move over. I'm
I
going to
think
move.
this movement has created real quick. I wanted to comment. No, Jeremy and Robert. No, I would not ever think that. I mean, I don't know you personally, but I would not think that because I see your behaviors on here, and yes, things can be masked, but I see enough behaviors that no, I would not ever think you'd be like that. Second, real quick, the bad thing is, and I'm sure you had this conversation, Tia, with Justin, when this Me Too movement came out, what it's like having these conversations with our sons. And I had the conversation with my husband because, well, my husband works with a lot of people. I mean, most of the people he works with are men, but there are some females on the job, whether it's in his trade or other trades. But there's a lot of times where he has to be on an elevator, you know, or my son has to be something, and I'm like, you cannot. When my at the time my husband was still going to the casino, making, hanging out, getting some, male bonding time in the sports book, and he'd parking on the third floor of the parking garage. He'd have to ride an elevator down.
Yeah.
You got all these chicks coming in elevators, and I'm like, you open that, you press that button, you open that door opens, and ain't nothing but women. You're taking the next ride.
That's
Do
true.
not get on that elevator.
Yep.
Do not put yourself in a position where you could
Exactly.
be accused of something. Had to tell my son with girls in school, do not put yourself in a position where you could be accused of something. Make sure you have many witnesses. Make sure there's more than one boy or more than just you around the girls. Even if it's 5 girls and it's just you, or one girl and it's just you. Those 4 girls are going to say you did something, even if you didn't, or could. I'm not saying would for sure, but could. Don't, if you don't want to get accused of something, don't put yourself in a position for that to happen.
I agree.
And that
I
goes with the
definitely agree.
women that want to dress, dress provocative and get drunk and flirt. If you don't want guys to hit on you, which right or wrong, it's not right for the guys to do it, but we can't stop them from flirting and wolf whistling and all that. Don't put yourself in a position for it to happen. It just kind of think before you react and think before you go out and think about the fact of what could happen. Make sure you have people around you. Don't be putting yourself out there where you're alone, where you don't have, the guy doesn't have anybody to say, I didn't do it, or the girl doesn't have anybody say, yes, he did. So I had to have that talk with my young son. And I'm going to tell you, he looked at me and didn't understand why I was having this conversation.
I agree. I
Like I said, I
definitely.
figured you had that conversation with Justin.
Well, I did have that conversation with Justin when the Me Too movement had first started. Some of the things that he was doing at the time was he was evaluating his future. He was in college, and some things that came up were career options and career choices. And what broke my heart was that he wanted to change his major, just to change his major like 3 or 4 times between freshman and sophomore year of college, which is a lot. Which is why I told him he needs to just get out of school and go work full time until he's ready to determine what he wants to do. But what was heartbreaking was he was selecting options. He never wanted to be in a position to where he could be around a lot of women. For example, he excelled at like geography, he excelled at history. When you look that up, he would have made obviously a great social studies teacher. He would have made a great history teacher, geography. He opted not to go into teaching because he didn't want to be around high school girls. His his exact statement was, I will never survive because anyone that knows, like Jeremy, my son, he's very, reserved and kind of laid back at things. And he feels like by the time someone made a statement, it would be too late for him because he wouldn't be able to formulate his words to help himself. So rather than put himself in a position in the first place, it was off the table a career teaching in any aspect, no school, junior high or high school. And I thought that was sad because I think he would have been a great teacher. So I just wanted to kind of touch on that. I'm going to real quickly go to some of the comments. I saw that Ruby Q, she was commenting. Hello Queen Crafting, she was. Let's see, I did see the statements. Robert said he didn't understand the Me Too movement. It's basically, Robert, where women said that, behind closed doors, behind the scenes, people who were in a position of authority sexually assaulted them. It took a while for them to come forward, but when they did, there were other people that kind of, jumped in and came forward also. There were names of people who were brought to the forefront who ended up admitting and losing jobs and losing TV shows. There were people who got legal counsel and disproved some of the things. But the entire fiasco was known as the Me Too movement because so many people were saying, Me Too, yep, that happened to me also. Me Too, that was me also. So that's where the term came from, Robert. And let's see, Hollow Queen says, the Me Too movement isn't all about money, really. It's an overcorrection from previous models with regards to sexual harassment or assault. And she also goes on to say many times women would have to prove that an attack occurred before the authorities would even start investigating. I think, Hollow Queen, to kind of attach to that, I believe that that really is how things ended up being kind of swept under the rug. There was an ignorance that was applied. She knew what she was there for. That type of mentality. She don't even have no proof. She went home, she took a shower, her clothes are all intact. Now she hollering, crying wolf or hollering wolf because he wasn't good or because he didn't put her in a movie or some things of that nature. Hi, Miss Soft Brown. How are you tonight? Then she goes on to say, yes, we already talked about that. It's an overcorrection. But it was not that long ago when women were being told they shouldn't wear sexy outfits if they don't want to be raped. I agree. And Ruby Q says, I have 3 boys and I would hate for a girl to lie and say they touched her. It's happened to my friends' boys. I agree. I would hate that. As we just discussed, my son Justin, that is a fear of his. It is a fear that is so deeply embedded that it has curbed, how he works and where he works. Hopefully, going forward, he won't have to suffer that. But currently, right now, he is working and he has continued to remain in male-dominated fields. He does not work around a lot of women at all. Ruby Q
Let me
said,
ask a quick question.
Go ahead.
I know that they said, you think back and they say, all right, a woman, let's say this woman there was a woman that was actually raped. Like you said, she goes home, she takes a shower, she goes to bed, she washes her laundry, or throws them away. Maybe she just completely throws them away. So now there's no evidence. They say, well, they were scared. They were scared that if they went and told that, because they're going to say the rapist threatened to kill them. Well, in most cases, it's just that, it's scare tactic. You're probably never going to see this person again. In a big city, big crowds, you're probably never going to. But let's just hypothetically say that they're afraid to go to the police or go to the hospital and have a rape kit done. So they don't say anything about it. 20 years later, they come out and they're like, well, I was afraid. In my mentality, I would be more afraid coming out 20 years later that I wouldn't be believed because there's no evidence to back my story than I would to go to the police or go to the hospital, get a rape kit done immediately after it happens where evidence is still present. Yes, I still have to get them to believe that I was actually raped, but at least there's some evidence to prove that the likeliness occurred opposed to 20 years later when there's nothing to back it up. Only, and then you might be able to talk to some friends into saying, oh yeah, I was at that party. Doesn't necessarily mean that they were. You're just finding somebody to go along with your story because they're going to benefit from that too.
And I agree.
So I think if it happens,
but I think
when it happens, not 20 years later.
Well, I totally agree with what you're saying. But I think that goes back to what I was mentioning earlier, which is the difference between, rape and no consideration being on the table. You just raped me, as opposed to sexual assault, sexual harassment. You in a position of authority, having something that, could benefit me. There's consideration on the table because, I will smile. I will go to dinner. I will have a kiki moment. But will I, sell my values short in order to obtain? No, I won't. And a lot of them feel like when it mattered, and it turned into rape and things of that nature,
Right.
because he was in a position of authority, because he forced the
Right.
consideration on the table, things of that's how I'm looking at it. You see what I mean? So yeah,
Right.
someone that
Yep.
was out and about and they don't know the person, and that person forced themselves, and it was actual rape, and then there was no proof. Because if it's a stranger, that's what I expect. I expect you to just want to get every bit of grime and filth of this person you don't know off, and you just can't clean yourself, and you're scratching your skin until it's red, and you can smell every aspect of them, their hair, their clothing, what they had for dinner. You want that gone. So I can understand that.
And I get that. Because I was reading what Hollow Queen Crafting said about the psychological trauma. What if
Yes.
he literally, what if this person literally was raped? They didn't tell when it happened. Okay. Later, they try to say it did. They have no bearing on it. Now they're reliving trauma because now
Yes.
they're not believed and they really were raped.
And
That's
that
why I
it
say the
happened.
psychological trauma that you're going to deal with when it happened, they're going to be able to have some counseling right away. But for
Correct.
20 years, they lived with this, lived with this. Now all of a sudden they're coming out and they're having to relive it 20 years over again in details. I'd rather get it out of the way first thing, foremost, get it done, and let this person be looked for, because by being silent is being complacent. Don't say something happened when it happened. They're going down the road the next night and they're doing it to somebody else. And then
Got
they're
you.
doing it to somebody else. And now you've got a whole bunch of people that have been raped or sodomized, and sometimes it's not just rape. Some of these women end up dead then. So now that's on your conscience that you you just lived through this horrible trauma, but now you get to add the fact that I kept my shut, and all these other people have lived through the same trauma, and you did have a little bit, you had a little bit of control that you could have got it out there. So they knew to start looking for this person. I
It's
couldn't
hard.
live with that guilt for the rest of my life, knowing that I could have stopped something. I know everybody's different. But
It's
how do you come
hard.
out later on saying something happened and then you're mad and nobody believes you?
Yeah, it's difficult. Let me go back to the chat board, so I want to make sure that I'm getting in some of the audience and what they're saying. Going back to, wasn't finished with some of what Hollow Queen was saying. The false accusations, they don't happen nearly as much as people make it out to be. I do agree with that as well. However, I feel like because this became a movement, obviously there were cases that were legitimate, and those were highlighted, and they overshadowed the cases where false accusations came on. Your name got associated, you must be guilty, because right now we have more people who are guilty than who are being proven not. So but I do agree with that. Ruby Q says, I disagree. Men can have women want them, and they will deny them. If a woman wanted to try to rape a man, it is impossible. The man would say no. That is when we're talking about rape, Ruby. I agree with that scenario when it comes to rape, but we are talking about the fact that sexual assault and harassment, this stems, especially in regard to the Me Too movement, it stemmed from people in positions of authority and power. I think Melissa's example of the probation officer, that's a key example. I'm your probation officer. You want to go back? You want to keep bending over picking up the soap? Or you want to rub these corns on my feet? Those are literally, and I'm making light of it because, I don't want it to get too bogged down, but that's where it begins. It literally begins with something like, I'm in a position of authority and I have a way to control something that you're wanting. It could be positive, you want this position in a movie, but it can be negative also. You don't want to go back to jail. So I agree with both of you guys. I just think, again, that's where the line comes in, and we're defining rape versus, the sexual assault that occurs, especially behind closed doors when people are, employed, or they're somehow or another, inferior, in like a job environment. Moving over from there, let's see. I got that. Female assault definitely under. Yeah, it's under report. Jeremy has a male friend that's a slut. And just to kind of, inquire, is it that he's a slut because he's the preference of so many women, or is he a chauvinist and he's coming just shy of, assault? That's where I think the question for women that he is with, for them to start to really, break down. And is he the preference of women that he is in a position of authority over? That's where he goes from just being a slut, because he can be cute, he can get all the women he want, and hey, if he's a slut, I may wink at him. There's nothing wrong with that. But what is he using it for? In what fashion? What capacity? I feel like there's a line, and I feel like the women, they do have some control in that, especially when we're dealing with a position of authority. They can just, hey, you know what? It may not be the best decision, but it's a decision. I don't want to work here. I don't want this part enough. Your options may be limited if you can't find another job. I understand that. I'm just saying that that's where a decision, needs to be made. Yeah, he cute, but he ain't that cute. I'm about to get up out of here. That type of decision. Let's see. What do you say, Melissa? I heard you chuckle. That's why I said it. um,
I agree. I agree
yeah.
right there. I mean, you said it all right there. I totally agree.
Are you
Me
serious?
that you
No. Okay,
what?
hold on one second. Oh my gosh. Did you see what Susan posted?
Yes, I know.
What?
Well, no, they didn't test positive. They did
What?
not test positive. One of the people that's close to them, I forget who it was. Hang on. Hang on. I got it right here. Just give me a second here.
You didn't say nothing to
Uh,
me?
hey, you know,
I know. We're not
wait a
gonna go
second.
there. Are you
All right, hang on
serious?
here. All right, wait
It's
a minute.
fade. I just
Trying to get
seen
this
it.
to come up. There we go. Okay, the news. The news. They they did test positive. Earlier it said that they were just waiting for the results. It says Trump's diagnosis of COVID. No, earlier they said that they were waiting for it. It says the top aide, Hope Hicks, tested positive shortly before Trump and the first lady. So she just this Hope Hicks yesterday on the way back from one of their things, some female. So they isolated her or put her in quarantine in a different part of the plane. She went back. She got tested for COVID. Got tested positive. Melania and Trump, they were waiting for their test results. They got them back. They're positive. Okay, I was not aware that they actually tested positive. The last I heard, they were waiting for the results to come back.
Oh my gosh.
So your orange husband, he's tested positive.
Oh my goodness. Oh man. All right. All right. Oh, I'll move over to the next. I'm in shock right now. Oh, you didn't even say. All right.
I didn't know
Well,
it. I didn't know that just now when I found out that, and I found out about the Hope Hicks minutes before you went live. Stephen came and told me.
oh my goodness. Okay. All right. I'm going
The orange
to.
husband.
Yes.
Tell your mama.
I'm gonna tell her. I'm gonna. She's in the other room. I'm gonna tell her. I'm in shock right now. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't. I've come out, lost myself. Let me take a couple seconds. I'm gonna take a sip of this milk. I don't know. I wasn't expecting that, Susan. I
I
really.
got feelings about that too.
I know you do. So
He should have worn a
okay,
mask.
you. We'll save that. I'll let you get it all out your system when when we go. When it's just me and you. Oh
All
my
I was
God.
saying is he wore a mask. Huh. That was all I said. That's all I said. I'll talk to you more about it later. But that's all I had to say.
We don't discuss the orange husband
And get
on
them
the
divorce
channel
papers.
because everybody gonna attack me. So I don't want that. All right, we'll move on to my next segment. My next segment is called "On My Mind." On my mind to this week. One of the first things that I always think about is like dating familiarity. And I know we kind of touched on this last week. Me, you, Drea, Robert. We kind of had a little fun with the topic. It was just like we were just piddling around and things, but it did get me to thinking. So me and my kids' dad, we separated divorce. We separated divorce in 2006. Um, my kids would every summer they would go to Ohio to spend with my dad. And when they left in 2007, they left in May. I met someone, and the key was to just date during the summer while they were gone, and come back in September, the first week of September. I think the first Monday or Tuesday in September that year. And like, oh, I had a great summer. Oh, I'm gonna miss you. Can't wait till next year. By October, he was like, "That's not happening for me. I miss you. We need to, this needs to happen." And things. One of the things that he couldn't stand when we were dating was, um, we were dating. Just so you guys know, he ended up being. We were together almost 2 years, and then he ended up getting deported. Unfortunately, he had to go back to his country, and there wasn't much that I could do to salvage him. So that's how we broke up. And that was the last person that I was with. That was in 2009, and she has been single as a dollar bill since. But throughout that relationship, it brought up so many questions of familiarity and, how soon do you this and how soon do you that? And I wanted to discuss it with you guys. Obviously, my kids are all grown now, and I always used to say, I'm not doing it again. I'm not dating until my babies are grown. My daughter's at least 18. She was going to start the online dating apps and things like that. And so, as I prepare to be thrown back out there in the dating world, one of the first things that I wanted to ask single people as well as the married people, um, first question is, how soon? How soon do you feel comfortable in farting around the other party? Let's see. Some of the other things.
I, I,
Listen, you got this one.
no, I just wanted to move. I just was letting everybody know I need to move my camera because I'm going to another section, and I just want people to be prepared for ocean movement here.
That way they don't get.
Sorry, guys.
Um.
Uh,
So he and I, we were dating, and at one point, he says, this was well, first and foremost, there was a lengthy there's a lengthy wait before I know that there are some people who still have one night stands. I am not so ancient that I don't understand the when you throw caution to the wind. But it just hasn't, especially being a mom and things like that, it wasn't something that was ever on my mind. I had a time frame, and the time frame was really between 6 and 9 months. The funny part is, we're only going to be hanging out for the summer because kids got to come back. So we definitely, yeah, that's not going to fall within my time frame at all. And he understood and he was very respectful of that. So I didn't have an issue there. The next, issue that he had was we've been dating for 4 or 5 months and you've never farted around me. So the entire time that I was married, I could tell you that my husband would say that I've never farted around him. And he's walked in the bathroom on me. Um, he wasn't invited in, but so questions that I want to know: am I weird, or what is comfort level? Like, is there a time frame that you guys associate with just feeling comfortable and things enough to just let it rip and roar? When you're in a relationship, because he really ramrodded me. He was upset that I wouldn't just release, and just be me around him. So what do you guys think? Is there a time? Have you ever, just kind of held back? You imagine you got to sneeze, you worry that it's going to be a 2-for-1 type of sneeze, and so you got to get up to go to the restroom just to sneeze and things like that. That's me though. Anyone else have those ideas and those questions?
That's how he heard me. My husband heard me the first time. I sneezed.
What did he say?
The thing is, well, the thing is, remember, we knew each other for 18 years. We were friends for the first 5 years that we knew each other. And I never did it in front of him during those 5 years. Oh my God, no. Mm-mm. I had the smallest bladder in the world. I spent more time, I got to go to the bathroom, I got to pee. It's like, I haven't even drank anything. Yeah, I got a small bladder. So yeah.
Oh,
Those 5 years, he had never heard it. He didn't hear me until I think we were together in the relationship for 2 years. So we knew each other for 7 years before he ever heard me pass gas.
uh-huh.
And then he was like, "Ah, you fought it. Fought so funny."
Oh my gosh, that is so crazy. So I
He
can
was so
assure
proud of me because he told me, like, that sounded good. He said, "I'm proud of you on that." I know I'm crying because I'm laughing so hard due to embarrassment. And then he's talking. I think he was trying to help me by making me laugh so I didn't feel so embarrassed. But the more he did that, the more I laughed and the more embarrassed I got.
I
Now,
can tell you.
now, 13 years of being together, 7 years being married, I'll walk right beside him, give him a great big hug. "Oh, I love you, honey." Big kiss on the cheek. We're hugging. Next thing you know, I turn around, fart right
Oh,
on him. Don't care.
oh my gosh. So let's go to the board.
He does the same thing to me. He'll do the same thing to me.
Yeah, men normally do
Yeah,
though. Drea says
he's
it
a
took me
gamey now.
2 years. I don't know why, because he does it every 20 seconds. Ruby Q says, nope. That's messed up to say. If you haven't been, oh, I think she's talking about, cannot say that. I'm not one of those people. I was too little to understand what happened to me. I knew as I got older, so I disagree 100%. I'm sorry, Ruby. I was trying to see. I think you were answering. You are getting my messages super late. Okay, okay. So she did realize I'm getting her messages late. Billy says never. You never fired around your ex-wife. That is a great man, Billy, and that means we will not be expecting you to do any farting in Texas.
He said, no, he said he doesn't do that around his wife. He doesn't say he didn't do it around you
He's
guys.
gonna do it around us. Oh, Drea says I still don't do it very often in front of him, but the first time I finally did it because after 2 years of him about killing me with his gas, I was like, forget this. I'm firing back. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. What about when it comes to bathroom
Very
privacy?
good.
Do you guys feel comfortable, or how long did it take? You just walk in the bathroom on them and come in the bathroom. I'm gonna tell you right now, when you get pregnant, your privacy as a woman is done. Before that, you
Yep.
may get, some respect and things like that, but it's like, that's my baby growing in there. What do you mean, get out the bathroom? Like, that's so appalling to men and things of that nature. So, for you as women, you know, where do you rein in? Like, is that something that is just so out of the question? There was a time where I could go into the restroom and, be respected and things like that. Once you become a mom, you that's out the door. You can go in the bathroom. You could be
There's
running
no
in
modesty.
there. You could be butt naked on the toilet, and you will get homework questions, W-2 questions, anything. But the point is that
Hey,
it's
ask
out.
Mrs. Coffee. Killian loves to visit mom when she's going to the bathroom.
Exactly. uh, so taking it back to the board, uh, Billy says, "Don't worry about that." Should there be anything we worry about, Billy? Just kind of roll that out there now, so we know. Uh, Nana says,
Nana, so you Billy
"Better
better
not be
not be
farting."
farting.
so,
Neither
so
can I, Ruby. Neither can I. And it doesn't change when they get older because my son's almost 16. And I asked him today, I was like, you know what? There's two places that I try to go for privacy. Outside in the back, just outside to smoke a cigarette, I always get somebody out there with me. Or to the bathroom to take a dump. And guess what? Then you knock on the door and talk to me through the door. Are you kidding me?
all right.
I haven't
So
had
here's
privacy
the
in 33 years.
wow. I believe that, and it's just gone for life. I'm telling you, it's gone for life.
Yep.
Um, here's the next one. Um, and this one right here, I think you and I kind of had touched on earlier, as far as body odor. So, and we're gonna shine the light on women at this point. We're gonna shine the light on women. Your man ever had to say,
All
honey,
right.
you just
Oh,
ain't
first,
fresh. Go wash
no,
your booty and things.
step away for
Um,
a minute.
you're leaving? At the critical, this was your homework question.
Hey, I can't help it. My bladder is talking to me.
You gotta go boo boo.
Yep, just drank too much water.
What a time. So one of the topics that, Melissa was supposed to research, is, again, we were going to shine the light on women on this question, but has your man had to tell you, honey, baby, sweetie pie, you ain't fresh, and when, what point in the relationship were you just dating? Had you guys been married? What point in the relationship were you at if, he did? Have you, obviously women, we're probably we love our men. We're going to tell them if they have, armpit odor and things. But have you ever smelled anything else? I'm talking like feet or bad breath. What do those conversations look like? Do you have to have some sort of familiarity with them? Are you comfortable? Is it, we've been dating 3 months before I felt comfortable enough to say something? Or, for me, you'll never have to talk to me about body odor at all. That is a wrap at all. Um, but some people they I watch YouTube and definitely TikTok, and everybody got a video about it. Teasing my boyfriend with my odor. So I just wanted to know for an adult community what those conversations sound like. Drea is busted up. Oh,
No, I don't do stank.
you know, uh,
If
Ruby Q.
you need a bar of soap, if I come near you and if I come near my husband and he needs a bar of soap or smells like he needs a bar of soap, I'm going upstairs and I'm going to bring him some nice clean clothes down because he showers downstairs. It's a larger shower. We're coming down there and, hey, honey, yeah, I forgot to tell you. I got you some clean clothes and I went out and I got you some new soap and you know, check this out here. I am going to do it. And if he's like, what are you even talking about? I'm like, babe, you're starting to smell like a gym locker right about now. You need to do something about that. I have no problem telling my son, Steven, you smell like a bag of onions. Go take a damn shower. Goodbye.
Oh my God. Let me see what Ruby is
Nope,
saying.
I don't do stink. I go through more deodorant than anybody I know. I use can deodorant, okay? I go through a can of deodorant like every 6 weeks. I cannot stand any kind of odor. If I even think, if I smell something, I don't even check to see if it's somebody else. I can just go and get deodorant just to make sure it's not me. Nope. Nope. Mm-mm.
Ruby Q says she can never take a shit in
And,
peace. I agree with that. Holla Queen says, my husband and I, that we've been together 23 years. We have 2 children. Privacy? Yeah, right. Drea says, no one ever wants to talk to me unless I'm on the toilet, on the phone. So I had to get over that really quickly. That's true. Nana says, ooh, them whiskey farts. she, she's putting aroma to all of this.
mm,
Alla Queen says, my kids
mm.
ignore me until I'm trying to have a dump. Then they have to tell me their life stories while mommy's trying to wipe. Did you guys see that? I love that Nutella prank that's going around where the moms get the kids and the
Yes,
kids.
yes.
I
And
love
it's
that.
Nutella and pudding.
Man, I love that. I'm thinking about putting a jar of Nutella in the bathroom. The next person that comes in there, they getting pranked. Ruby says, I can get on if Melissa leaves. I am invested. Okay. Uh, Drea says it was time of the month. My youngest son walked in on
Just
me.
invite her.
He said, "Oh no, mom! Oh, poor thing. Do you need a band-aid?" Yeah, band-aid's gonna fix you right up, mom. Ruby said the same. Her son told her to call 911. Oh, these poor children.
Oh
They
my
sound so
God.
sweet. Oh. Oh, Ruby says, I tell him, I'm like, bro, you fucking stink. Oh my God.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Yes. And
Drea says,
know,
I tell him,
if
go take a damn
the thing
shower.
is,
Brush your nasty teeth. Ooh.
if if somebody can smell it and you can't, something is wrong. And if
I
you
agree.
smell it and you're just okay with it, then something are wrong that you're okay with the fact that you stink. And I told my son, I tell him, and I love him to death, and he, you know I do. But I tell him, you are almost 16 years old, and there girls do like boys that stink, that don't take care of their bodies and their hair and their skin. Women don't want that. Women want guys that have as much care about their body as they want us to care about their bodies.
It's true.
No, nope, I'm not going nowhere near stink. Ain't happening. Mm-mm,
Nana
nope.
said,
And it just makes me think about what you had mentioned about Tiara. And I put those two things in thought, and I'm like, oh God, help me.
she's on one today. I don't know what's up with her. Um, I tell her go take a damn shower, brush her nasty teeth. Him, not him. I tell him, not her.
No,
Okay.
no, no, no. I was talking about the other thing that she wants to explain to people.
No, I knew what you were talking about. I'm reading still from the
Oh,
chat.
okay.
Hello Queen says I have girls. That was the start of the period lesson saga. Nana says if I have to tell some man he has to take a bath it would be as I was handing him his bag. uh,
Yep.
he says, "No, mama's not bleeding. Yes, it looks scary, but it's normal. It just means mommy's not having a baby this month." It happens to all grown up women. I don't remember the conversation.
Give me
Robert
baby.
is cracking up. Oh my gosh. No, what is the Nutella thing?
Yep.
So Ruby Q, the Nutella thing is, it's brown. It's like a chocolate. It's like chocolate goodness actually, but if you put it on your hand or your wrist or your fingers, it looks like you've been playing in the toilet. So there is a prank that was going around. I believe it was on TikTok, where parents who were using the restrooms, they were hollering that they were out of toilet paper, and they had the kids come running with toilet paper to bring to them. And as they reached out to touch it, they would put Nutella on the kid's hand or something. This one little girl, she had to be about 3 years old. She said, "What's that? Hey, what's that?" She just she looks she's gonna throw up
It,
on her
kid,
mom.
swear to God,
And
I'm sorry. My belly was upset. I couldn't
said,
help
"No,
it.
you're not sorry.
And she's like,
What did that, mom, on purpose?" And these kids were just going off on the parents. You think
but
you
then
got
there
it
was that
on
little boy.
your hand?
Did you see the one
Oh,
with the boy where he's like, Mom, I'm so sorry. I know, it's okay, Mom. I'm so sorry. Because she's acting like she's crying because she's embarrassed and feeling bad. And he's like, Are you okay, Mom? Yeah. And then when she's like, she
oh
went to
God.
touch him, the toilet paper on his hand, and he about fainted.
But the kids are really. I mean, the parents got them good. This was definitely. It was for me. It gave me life. I thought it was funny. uh, And she said,
Mhm.
"I know men
Oh,
that
yeah.
stink." I'm like, "How the fuck do you not smell yourself?" That sounds like something Melissa would say. "Sweetie, I love you, but we're not doing anything until you have a shower. You're so sweet, Hollow Queen." Usually, when he's trying to get amorous right after work and he hasn't showered yet. Robert says, "I have 3 showers." There you go, Robert. That's what we talking about. That's what we talking about. The main thing. uh, uh, let's see. He said, "That keeps me clean." So, I'm going to tell you guys my
Well,
first
what, huh?
my first husband,
Okay.
from when I was in college, not my kid's dad. Um, he he worked in the He was a foreman for. I don't know if you guys have heard of this place. It's called KB Toys. KB Toys had a big warehouse where we stayed, and he was a foreman. He had a team of like 12 employees under him. He worked 3 days, 12 hours, and it was a great job, great benefits, great money, all of that. He's from another country. This doesn't even matter, but what he went on to say did. He's from another country, and he got hurt at the job. I had to meet him at the hospital. Something fell on his foot, and it was heavy because he had to wear steel toe boots, but it still penetrated, still hurt him. So by the time me and my sister get to the hospital, he's already in there, and they already have him back in the room, and they're about to take his shoe off. Oh my God, when I tell you I disappeared and act like I didn't know him, they took the shoe off, and then they had to take the sock off, and that goddamn sock stood up on its own and was like, "Hey, what's going on in here? Yeah, oh, my breath stink. Okay, oh, well, that's my owner. He didn't wash me at least 2 days in a row." Now, when I tell you, his were kicking up there in the emergency room. Oh, and the doctor had to lean his nose in. He leaned his nose in, and he is examining the foot. And my eyes were watering. My nose was twinging. I leave. And my sister was like, "Well, you can't leave. I'm leaving." Shit, he got here. He didn't get his ass the hell on home. But I can't take this no more. And he on his own. He alive. He ain't gonna die. Even if he lose his foot, he gonna live through this. So I'm up out of here. I, when I oh my lord, and I said to him, "What the hell was that smell up in there? You don't wash your." You know what he said? "It is not my fault that my wife does not wash my clothes for me." What the hell did you just say? You was a grown man. Did you just say it's not your fault that your wife doesn't wash your clothes? Oh, oh, that's all I. Oh, we were divorced within a year. uh, just saying. So,
Mm.
yeah.
Mm.
I could never be a doctor. Even if I was
Mm.
in school at that point to be one, I would have quit school at that point. Because I could have never, ever,
Mm.
ever faced another foot in the whole of my existence. Uh, oh,
Ugh.
yes. See, you even gagging.
I
You
said,
could smell it. It was that, like, when I tell you that sock stood up on its own, I am not lying. And my sister, if you in here tonight, Lori, I love you. She stayed in there. She was a trooper, rubbing his shoulder and all of that. Oh,
now, see, I
oh my
had an
God.
oldest daughter. I love her to death. But this poor child, she hated wearing socks when she was little.
Ooh,
Hated them.
that's not good.
Hated them. So she wore her tennis shoes without socks
Don't
all
wear
the
your
time, like all the time. And then, it felt like, I mean, she was little. She was like 2 or 3. She didn't get out much. She didn't get dirty. So like every day was bath time then because, I didn't want to dry her skin and stuff out. So every other day was bath time. But the feet still needed to get washed every day. It's like you wipe you put parts of your body that still need to be washed every day, sometimes 3. Okay. But she would not wash her feet because her feet tickled.
Mm,
And we fought with this and fought with this and fought with this. But I'm going to tell you what. She is 32 years old, and her feet still stink. And she uses, I mean, it smells like a dead body stink.
oh,
Even when she washes her feet, they don't smell bad after she washes her feet. But she's got and goes and gets pedicures.
mm-mm. Stop.
Nope, that's not how it works. I do not ever, ever, ever. That's no. Baby feet. Yes, I play with baby feet. I love baby feet. A grown feet, no, grown adult feet. Hell no. Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
No.
Mm-mm. That's a
Mm.
bit old, but I think my husband at the time, I think he was 23, 24, way too old, way too old to have that, issue. Oh my gosh. And I'll never
Ugh.
feel so mad. Don't have me. I mean, I went off for days. You know how you walk around and you just talk out like how you be yelling out into the atmosphere at my baby? I did that. I walked around and I'm yelling and talking to absolutely nobody. And I know he could hear me though. He gonna have me up in the hospital embarrassing the hell out of me, smelling and shit. I know you ain't had me come up here. I don't give a good goddamn if you lose that toe. When I tell you, I was for 2 days, mm, heated for 2 days. This
Uh,
fool gonna say right before we busted up, I left. I packed up and left. Um, he went to work and I left. He come home to an empty house. But before I left, and I mean, he was doing a whole bunch of stuff similar to this that irritated me, and I was always at fault. He got a speeding ticket. I made him get off of. We had an insurance policy together. You getting off this insurance because they raised the rates. That's okay. You go and get your own. He was ticked. Um, so he said that the reason he got the speeding ticket was because I didn't pack him a lunch, and he was trying to hurry home because he was starving, hungry, and to fix himself something to eat. It was my fault. And yes, I mean, I went through all kind of stupidity with him and things like that. Oh my goodness, boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. But yeah, I definitely remember. I was heated. I learned so much. I was such a different person back then. uh, and I might as well. I have come into such a zen since. Like I very rarely walk around and talk to absolutely nobody, yelling and screaming into the air. Oh,
Ruby sounds like an asshole to me.
oh, it was crazy.
Said,
Halloween
hell
fireworks.
no. I do everything that I do for my husband because I choose to do it because I want to do it. I pack his lunch, I do his laundry. I made that uniform choice that when I'm a stay-at-home mom or stay-at-home wife, I'm doing those things for him because he's out working hard for me. I choose to do this, not because he expects me to. When he starts expecting me to it, his socks will be standing up on their own because I won't be washing them.
Well,
Nope.
I if I didn't have to work, I probably would have made sure he had a lunch. But I worked at the courthouse
Right,
full
but
time.
that's what I'm saying.
I law. Yeah,
He
so I'm working
expected
at
it
the
out of you. I
courthouse.
don't. My husband don't expect it
Exactly.
out of me. I do it because I want to. He doesn't expect it.
No, he
Your
expected
husband
it.
expected it.
Yeah, he expected it. It was my job on top of working at the courthouse. I was
Yeah.
legal clerk back then, so you all know if a case is about to come and you have to
Hmm.
do research, and you're not going home, so it's not even just 40 hours. You got to get this done because we might, be going to court early, or we, might need to
Yep.
request a stay or something. So. I worked hard, and he thought all of that was still supposed to be my job. Mm-mm. But I'll never forget my sister. She
No.
was very supportive, very supportive, and I thought that was cute. But she was right there on the other side when it was time to bust that relationship up and get a divorce. Sorry,
Yeah, I
you
help
should have
you.
washed your socks, man. That's what she said to him. You should have washed your socks. I had nothing else to say. Bye. So I think he felt completely
Yeah.
abandoned. Hollow Queen says,
No.
I work at Walmart. I tell you, it's small. It's a small minority of customers, but some of them, you smell them before you. Ooh, she said you smell the customers before you see them. Oh my lord. Drea says, nope. To hell with that. If I was that doctor, I would say, here's an empty room. Go wash your nasty ass, and then I will treat you. I wouldn't have treated them. That would have went to a whole other doctor. I'm off. Bye. I'm sick. I don't feel well. Throwing up. I would have been done. I left. I left. And when him and my sister
Yep.
came in, like an hour and a half, almost 2 hours later, I said, "You stayed with him the whole time? You a fool." I couldn't believe it. Yep, she stayed there. She said, "He's a man." All these excuses. Mm-mm, not good. No bueno. Ruby Q said, "That may be a fungal thing. No, that was a nasty ass thing." I don't get
Well,
how some people have feet
but
fetishes.
you know what? Just think about this for a minute. If you know you're going to the doctor, and I know, our parents always told us, well, grandmothers, not our parents, grandmother always said to have a clean pair of underwear in the glove box just in case of an accident. Okay, well, you should have a few things in the glove box just in case. But if you know damn well you're going to the doctor, sh- shower, shower, wash your ass, wash your feet, wash your pits. Women that do shave. Okay, some women don't shave anymore, but I am that woman that if I have a doctor's appointment, I'm going to the orthodontist in the morning. I'm shaving my legs. He ain't looking at my legs. It's got his face in my mouth. But I have no hairy legs with shorts on in Vegas because I just can't do that. But damn, and you know what? You never know. You can't have any surprises at home, afternoon delights and surprises at home if you ain't taking care of yourself in the morning.
Uh oh. Uh oh. Uh oh. I feel like a lesson is coming. Oh, she said a surprise in the
Get
afternoon
up in the
delight.
morning shower so you can have a so you can have a sweet, a sweet few moments in the afternoon if your husband comes home from work or your boyfriend comes home from work or your wife or whatever. Wash your
Listen,
ass.
listen, that's a lesson. I agree. Let's see. Yeah, Linda, I just got the bad news myself. I was trying to not think about it. Hollow Queen says, I remember being so sad with my babies when I would put their feet on my face and smell foot funk. Oh my God. Instead of baby. They grew up too fast. I remember the first time I smelled my daughter's armpits. And I was like, oh, ooh, girl, let's go. Let's go right now. We went. We had to learn about
Know
deodorant.
your
And,
secret.
no, and it was.
Go to bed.
Whew.
All right, hold on. Hold on, Tia. Come here. Say goodbye to her. Or good night, I mean.
Good night, Tia.
Night, baby. You sleep tight,
Okay.
Take that. Don't sleep in them pants. Please make sure the alarm's set.
okay? Mama, you know what
He
you
gets
do.
so embarrassed.
You
What
take,
what did I do?
you be having a good moment. He about to go off. He gonna be, a good boy. And you be like, and don't forget to this and that. And you better this and that.
He's such a thing. Now he likes to sleep in his jeans. I'm like, dude, no, no. I buy you pajama pants. I buy you shorts. Sleep in your underwear, but do not sleep in your jeans because with he needs that weight. He needs to have weighted blanket or something on him for his sensory. So I walk in his room. He's got the ceiling fan running and the floor fan running. He's got the blankets pulled clear up to his chin. He's got jeans on and a t-shirt, and he's sweating.
Oh, well.
And I'm like, you don't need to be sleeping with all that stuff. Put a t-shirt on, sleep in your underwear, or just sleep with. I don't like him to sleep without a shirt on because when his chest is exposed, he tends to get the bronchial thing with the asthma and stuff. So I like him to sleep with a shirt on. But walking in there and seeing, and then when he climbs out of bed, then he wants to wear those jeans that he had on all day. He'll change his underwear and put the same jeans back on that are all wrinkled. Now, do not sleep in your jeans, son.
Okay.
So
Sleep
that's
in
what
your
that was
jeans.
all about. It's like good night, but change the pants.
Well, with that said, we'll move over to our final topic, and this is about, our adulting section. And I always, wait to kind of touch on the adulting portion late because, it's late. It's the middle of the night. But one of the things that I wanted to know is what kind of spice? What kind of spice? You talked about coming home with the afternoon delight and things of that nature. What kind of spice do we need in our life? The topic really came from earlier where I was talking to J. Rob, and J. Rob asked if what book I was reading, and I told her I have started that book that you suggested, but it's we still in the land of little people, little kids, and so without saying I need a little more 50 Shades in my life, because I don't think I need that much spice, but I definitely need some spice, something that just, teases and tantalizes at least the imagination or something. So, how much spice do you need? What did you like, especially when it comes to like your TV programs or your choice in reading material?
Night, Robert. Thanks for stopping in. I was gonna say this is right up Drea's alley. Where are you, Drea?
You said it's right up Trey's alley.
I want to hear Drea comment on this. This is what I've been waiting for all night because we know. Well, we hear we hear in Crashly thought. I don't know. Um. Hmm. For someone who's in menopause, think about that for a minute, Tia.
Ruby says
Um,
she got 3 kids. Why are you thinking about that? Ruby says she has 3 kids and it's hard to have sex. She has to think that having time for intimacy is key. 3 times a week at least.
oh, Trey, that wasn't supposed to be mean. I wasn't trying to be mean. I hope you didn't take it that way.
I said I made a rep for myself. um, what Ruby Q? When it comes to time for intimacy, are you guys doing anything other than just, hey, let's get these clothes off real quick, let's get in the bed? Or are you guys doing something? Is there something else that you're doing to spice it up? I know when I was married, and the kids, they slept in a bed with us. And my husband got to a point, not my first husband, not the guy that, I'm always complaining about, but he got to the point where he put Justin in the bed between us. Then I got pregnant with my daughter. My kids are 4 years apart. By the time that I would carry Justin into the room and things like that, he'd be knocked out asleep. And he got to the point where it was very difficult for him
That's
to
my
fall
husband.
asleep. Yeah, without Justin in the room. I literally had to break them apart. I wanted a new bed, and we were moving into a new house. We had rented a house, and then we moved into our own. And I refused to take our bed with us. We're going to sleep on the floor until we buy a new bed, because I wanted to break him from the habit of pulling Justin out of his bed, putting him back in our bed with us. But when I tell you there was no like real intimacy, there was really just the point where we're just taking our shirts and things. We might even still have our shirts on. So what do you do to add spice? That's really what I want to know. Going back, let's see.
Drea.
Let's see. I guess I like a little bit of everything, honestly. I get enough spice from the hubby. I don't need books and movies. Okay. All right then. Ruby Q says sometimes we role play, but not like crazy shit, like pretend characters. Mostly like kisses here and there and holding. Drea says, but if I have to pick, I would choose going to the titty bar. I know, weird, huh? Not weird. You mentioned that somewhere another day, and that is something I used to like to do. But my ex husband, the kid's dad, he didn't like that at all. At all. I would be up in there. Come on, let's go. I feel like this as a woman. I'd rather go see women. A lot of them are single. They trying to build, or they might be single parents. I would rather stuff money down their pocket than pay men. I'm not putting no money in no men's pockets ever. I don't have 5 cents to help with your dream. I'm sorry. I know that sounds weird, but I feel like we as women, we will find a way to struggle through to get to our desired, positions. We'll have a baby on each ankle, one on each hip, and still be struggling to make sure that we keep a roof and they are well fed. And then you'll have men, because women will work around the clock with babies, and you'll have men, you got to hit them upside the head to go and get more than one job. And I feel like it's easier for them to go and get another job. Go work somewhere at night, go work somewhere during the day. Do what you have to when it comes to taking care of your family. And I see women do that more than men. So my thought process is I would much rather fill the pockets of a woman than a man any day. That's just me. I like men though, but I'm not filling their pockets. So I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. Me and my ex used to do that. Me and my ex used to go to the uh, strip club. It was like twice a month. We would meet after work because we worked he was a manager of his family's pizza shop, and I
Mhm.
worked in the medical field. So we roughly got off work about the same time. And there was a little bar. It was in Louisville, Tia, right there on Old 62, across from that restaurant. I forget what it's called. It was like 62 in Easton, or 62 in Paris Avenue.
Okay.
It was called Hot Laps. And We would
Did they
make it
give a
because
good
we were
show?
living in Louisville at the time. Pardon me?
Did they give a good show, a nice spicy show?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well,
Did they
they
go
were
all
they
the
were
way?
no, 'cause
They didn't make it
not
all.
Louisville. It was a yeah. They had to wear pasties and g-string.
Okay.
But we knew a couple of the dancers, so we'd go in and I would go up to one dancer and tell her, I said, Joey's here tonight. She's like, all right, I'll be over in 20 minutes. I give her 20 bucks. And she would, it was a kind of a golden rule that she had to dance for us both. So what she would do is she would put us knee to knee, take our chairs and turn us facing each other knee to knee, and she would
Okay.
straddle both of us and dance for both of us. Now, I'm straight. I mean, like I am so straight that I can't even see the end of the path of anything but being straight, okay? And I have nothing against anybody who's not. I am cool with that. I got friends of all shades, colors, all that stuff, right? But she did that because she knew what it was. She knew it was such a thrill to him that she knew when I got home, me and her were going to be talking about that night a week later when we came back. She was
Well,
going to
there
have
you
questions,
go.
and I was going to be filling her with all kinds of information.
So
And it
that's
was
a great
fun,
way to
I
add some
mean,
spice.
it was
Yeah.
innocent. And we agreed that we would not do that without one another.
That's
There was a
good.
golden rule. Twice a month, we knew that on Saturday or Thursday night, it was strip club night. He
Yeah.
would not go. If I could not go, he did not go.
Well, that's good. That's
So
a great way to add some spice,
it
right?
was fun until she
How I
kissed me.
look
Now
at it.
that threw me off.
Here's how I look at it. You are with your partner. You guys are supposed to be best friends. We could talk to each other about everything the same way that I expect you to sit down and watch this chick flick with me. When I read something crazy and I want to discuss it in one of the books or novels that I read, I expect you to listen. You watch a game. You want to be able to vent to me when your team ain't doing well. And if you want to go out to a titty bar and you want me to go, I'm going. We're gonna sit there. We're gonna have fun. Don't get mad because I might be a better tipper, and they probably gonna be dancing for me when I come home. Come home, boo. Woo. I'm gonna teach you what I learned because I'm gonna take notes. I'm gonna take good notes, and I'm gonna come home. I'm gonna teach you what I learned. It's gonna be the most awkward dance you ever seen, but you better get hot. You better be ready, and this better set the tone. Cause I'm gonna grab the chandelier. I'm gonna swing. I'm gonna do everything. I'm gonna do everything. But
Wash your feet first, though.
that's right. You better clap. Toys are fun too, of course. Don't get me wrong. I get a lap dance here and there, but not every time. Yeah, so it's just Dre is laughing at me. uh, is there anything when it comes to adding spice? Is there any no nos? What the no no?
You ain't bringing nobody home with us.
Women always say
I
that.
have a
You know
story
what
behind that.
they say that? You know what they mean? That mean don't bring no women up in here. But if he brought
Yeah.
home Jason Momoa, ah, girl, you gonna say, don't you have to bring nobody home? Is that what you gonna say?
Well, you know what? Yeah. No. Yeah. So let me tell you a little story because this is from experience. Not that it happened to me, but it happened to my best friend. Her and her husband was, trying to keep the flame, fire, the home fires burning.
Mm-hmm.
They were struggling with, exhaustion and kids and work and not having time. So they decided that they were going to go out one night and have, a good time. And they were very open minded people, not open relationship people, but very open minded people. They went out and they had a good time. They drank a little too much. They ended up going to some strip clubs up in Akron. Akron. And they both decided after the bar, they're closing the place down, and the dancers are coming and sitting there talking to them. Well, somehow, some way, somebody ended up coming home with them that very night.
Mm-mm.
They woke up the next morning. They were all three still there. They sat and they talked. They agreed. They had a good time, and it would never happen unless they both agreed upon it. Right? Right. Well, it got to the point where the only time they could perform is if they had somebody with them.
Yeah.
When they split up, which they did split up,
Tell me,
she
don't
wanted
tell
to
me
continue that.
with the woman.
Well, she wanted to, no, she wanted to continue that life with,
Oh,
she met another guy, they started dating, and she told him that, and he was like, no, mm-mm, that's even too freaky for me. Nope. She struggled then finding a relationship that would do that. So
it is.
sometimes spice in one relationship doesn't work in the next one you
In
could
the
be
next
in.
one. Yeah. So I have a friend. I don't want to say her name. She lives in Columbus. We went to Ohio State together, and she is bi. She did with her last relationship. She was the single person, but she was the extra person in a marriage. She and the husband end up dating outside of the relationship, and she and the wife were seeing each other outside of the relationship, and she had to pick one of them. They didn't know that each other had started a relationship with her. She had to pick. She ended up going with the husband. It didn't end well at all because then the husband was cheating on her with his wife. It was
Yeah,
it was like I swear I thought I was watching a show. Every time I would talk to her once, maybe twice a week, and I would make sure I had me some popcorn ready. I felt like, and I'm gonna just be honest. I felt like I was tuning in. Girl, how you doing? Like I was calling her just to watch my favorite TV show. How you doing this week? What's going on? Oh, work schmirk. What's going on with the man and the woman?
it's
Oh,
safer if you're going to do, you want to bring spice into your life, it's better to bring it in the battery operated form, because then, I mean, if your man wants to get upset that you're cheating on him while he's at work with your battery operated buddy,
with
then
Bob.
there's some issues there. Yeah, with Bob, the battery operated buddy. Um, but when you start, because I mean, and you know what? Let's be honest. How often do feelings not end up forming?
I agree with that.
No matter how hard you try, yeah, just that's not we bringing. We don't need six legs and four and a friend or just four and a legless is just fine. Let's just keep it. Those are still vows that are being broken. I'm sorry to bring this into it, but you know what? Those are vows that are being broken. Even if you agree, you're still sleeping with somebody else and you shouldn't be. So it's just wrong. That's my opinion.
I don't know. That's great.
But
So
nobody
let's
ever
talk
told
about
me
the
that you
single.
couldn't have Bob your operated button.
Well, let's talk about the single person because we live in Las Vegas, and here in the lovely land of sin. Yes, I said the lovely land of sin. We have what's known as sex houses, and you can go to the Red Rooster, and you can have some fun. You can be the other one to a married couple, or you can meet up with one. Whatever you want, you just fill out the paperwork when you arrive. There's also the green door. There's also the green door. And so, with that said, you're single, you have no commitment. Would you ever need that kind of spice in your life?
Hell no. No. Mm, nope.
Tia does not need
Mm-mm.
that kind kind of spice. I'm just asking. And the reason I'm asking is because I met one time a gentleman. I was out on my birthday. It was my birthday when I met him, and I was out with my brother and his wife. We were at a casino, and they had treated me this night. Anything I want, I can have. Anything I want. I couldn't wait. So we're at the casino. My sister-in-law, she loves to gamble. So she takes off. I'll be back. We knew she wasn't coming back for at least an hour, hour and a half. She's going to plop herself down in front of a machine. We are in. There was a live band that was playing, and we're in the I want to say like the bar area where they were at. They had a dance floor and everything. We're in there. We're sitting at the bar. Me and my brother. We're drinking. The live band starts playing, and he asked me to dance. So we going to dance now. We're gonna have a good time. I told you guys before, my brother spoils me as if I'm like still a little kid, like I'm still 10 in his eyes. So we're on a dance floor, we're having a good time, we're laughing, and this gentleman walks up and he kind of comes in between us and he starts dancing. He's facing me and he's just like, as my brother says, he cold cocked me and stood in front of you. What if we were on a date? So I thought it was so funny though. He introduces himself to me. He finishes dancing, comes back over to where we were sitting at, and we were drinking. Maybe he saw my sister-in-law before she left. I'm not sure. But he asked me out. We go out. He took me to one of the shows on the strip. After that, he told me he's a publicist and he represented a lot of acts that were on the strip. And I said, oh, okay. I don't want to name the names because then you guys could look them up and you would know. But he took me to a few of their shows. After the second or third, I can't remember which date, but after the second or third date, we're just going out on dates. There's no affection. He's a nice guy. He texts. I really felt like he just wanted someone to network with because he was taking me to like a lot of networking events and things. A third date. I've never been here before. I don't know where I'm going. This fool took me to the Red Rooster. I just told y'all what a Red Rooster is. I didn't know. It doesn't say like Red Rooster come in here and do this. They have private rooms and things of that nature. He told me that it was a, after party. One of the shows were closing and they were having an after party. Everyone was going to meet up. There was food, there was table, all of that there. I was like, oh, this is so cute and quaint. It's so nice and intimate here. Girl,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting
Intimate
down.
is the key.
I'm sitting down. Yeah, it was going to only be like 20, 25 people, right? I'm not 20 or 25. It's going to be like 20 or 24 people. I said 24 for a reason. Um, so I'm sitting down. I had just got me a little plate. I'm eating like finger food, grapes and things like that. I got strawberries and melon pieces on there and stuff. And a lady, she sits down and she's chit-chatting with me. She put her damn hand on my knee. I'm not lying. And then she offered to feed me these strawberries. I'm like, what? What's going on? Somebody.
I'm dead.
I'm in Twilight. I really want to say his name. I'm like, Mister. He comes over and she's like, well, I thought we were just supposed to pick somebody. I didn't know that you were allowed to bring your partner into it. I'm like, what is going on? This fool then took me to one of their little swingers parties. Just throw it on somebody, and then and she didn't rub my knee. And she was trying to feed me the strawberries on my plate. I didn't want to eat the food anymore after that. I was like, if you don't take me home, like, okay, just because it's gonna be more people and they're supposed to be ordering some more food. I ain't here for the food. Look, I know what I look like. I'm not a size 2, but I ain't here for the food. If you don't get me the hell up out of here, I'm gonna leave walking, and I'm gonna holler all the way. I'm gonna shut this shit down. This whole place about to get closed. I'm have all kind of violations. I'm about to boy. Oh my gosh. I was heated. When I say heated, I'm sure you could see the smoke coming out of my ears. And he had the audacity to say they supposed to have some more food coming. Girl, girl. Oh, yep, yep. Welcome to my life, girl.
Oh
That
my
only could happen
God.
here in Vegas. That could
No.
only happen here and the woman, when I tell you how mad I was, she was even more pissed. Like there was no other person that she could just kind of walk her ass on over to and rub on their knee. Like this just had to happen. And she was pissed. Like she lost her money and oh my gosh, she was ticked. And she, she thought that my issue was that I was trying to bring him into me and her encounter. Keep in mind, I haven't even had a conversation with her. I haven't said anything. She sat down next to me. I'm off on my own. These people, they look weird. Like I really thought we were going to network. I'm still confused, Melissa. I'm still confused.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
I'm
That
sorry.
is freaking awesome. Oh my God.
Well, that was great, way
No.
to end the
Mm-mm.
segment. I just wanted to make sure that, I kind of gave everybody a little excitement. um,
Oh my God. I would die. I would die.
yes.
He
I'm
would
happy.
too.
Huh?
I
What do
take
I
it right
do?
along with me. You're like, no, I said he would too. If some
Girl,
guy
he
took
had
me into a place and
to
did
take
that,
me home.
no.
He had like he won't take me home. I was pissed. I was like,
Oh,
I
bull.
keep threatening to say his name. I don't want him suing me. But if you don't take the hell up out of here, I will. I couldn't get that
Did you
close.
tell your mom that story?
Um, did I? I don't remember. I don't remember. You know
I
what?
would just love to hear her.
I can hear her now. I can hear her now. Where my goddamn gun at? I'm about to blow this man.
Oh
Hear
my
her
goddamn gun at. She ridiculous.
now. She just like you. She
Oh
carries two
God.
guns in her purse.
I don't even own a gun.
I'm teasing when I say that. Y'all see
But
my cute,
I might need to get me one.
see my Oreo cookies?
Oh my God. That was funny. That was now who was just there? Was that Tiara?
That was TR that just left not too long ago.
We need her.
No, we don't. Drea, this is my closing segment. So me and my mom, we having the time of our lives. We were in here singing Watermelon Sugar. We dancing. We got it going on. Yeah. Played the song. Oh, that's cute. Let me rewind. We played the song again. My daughter had come out. He's sitting on the love seat. And my mom starts singing the song because it's in her head now, too. We play it again. My daughter bust up laughing. I'm like, what is so funny? She said, Grandma, you know you singing about licking and sucking somebody's vagina, right? You could see the look on my mom's face. I said, Tiara, why do you need to know that? She was like, it's all over the video. You don't hear the word. We don't know what we singing. We in love with the hook. I swear I felt old at that point. I felt so old. my mom was like, okay, well, let's go ahead and turn the song off. We, we was blasting it. When I say we was blasting, girl. And I told my daughter, get out of my face. I don't want to see you. How you gonna do it? We having a good time. It was a good mommy daughter moment. We having fun. We laughing. We were jamming. Could tell us nothing. And then my daughter. Oh, uh,
But hey, look at it this way. It could be worse. Your mom could be sitting out on Tropicana or something, got the radio blaring, the windows down, singing all this, and then have a car next to you know what the meaning of those words are, and be looking
yeah,
at you.
she would have got taken to the Red
You
Rooster.
know, you your mom would have to get her purse and her gun. She would.
She would have got her and got her
Oh my
run.
God.
My mother
Where
don't go
is
nowhere.
he? Yeah, that's what I said. That's Mama Sophia.
Yeah, she'd have got her
Oh
purse.
my
She'd have got
God.
her
And you
gun.
told me that.
Where are you trying to take me?
I went
You know how deep her voice is.
I went on YouTube. Well, I went
That's
on YouTube and I looked for the verse, the one that would have just lyrics. And I got turned down because Mike's watching the football game and Steven's sitting over there. He's like, "Hey, Mom, what do you listen to tonight?" No, just go sit down. Just go sit down. And listen to classical music. Go sit down. What do you listen to classical music for? Oh, don't worry about it. There was a song somebody wanted me to listen to, but it's classical. You're not interested. Just go sit down. I'm sitting there. I got the thing down, the volume. I can barely hear it. Barely hear it. And when he said something about the legs standing there or standing straight, and they stand on, I was like, "What?
girl,
Huh?
I just could not
Tastes
get
like
it.
strawberries? Oh,
Yeah, when you
no.
figured, when you
No.
told me you got it, I didn't. Oh, you got it right. I couldn't believe it. I never even. I don't look lyrics up. I just sing whatever is coming out. I guess I got to pay more attention. So,
Yes.
I
Did you
guess
think
I
about
got to
this?
pay more
Think about all
attention.
these
But I
little
was,
girls.
yeah.
Think about
And
these little girls in song. These little, 5 and 6-year-old little girls. They're getting their groove on, singing and dancing. They don't even have a clue what they're singing about.
Yep, don't know what they're singing, and then all it takes is some pervert to come along, say, "Oh, okay, well, maybe she know, hey, you want to be my watermelon sugar?" And we off on the original topic, but yeah, that's how I found out,
Again,
and
my
I felt so
ass.
stupid. I felt old. I really did. And we were sitting. She was laughing. She was cracking up. We jamming. Like I said, we got our arms going, and we blasting it like you. We was going back to our youth. When you young, you blast the music, you're dancing around, you're doing your risky business. That was me. That was definitely me.
Mm.
And she ruined it. Oh, so
Because now you can never sing that song or hear that song without knowing it.
yeah, we had a lot
That
of
that
fun
that is
tonight.
permanently embossed in your brain now.
Right. Well, that was it, guys. That was my last segment. I just wanted to, make sure that I reached out. Obviously, these topics we're having are, outside of craft. Just something you can kind of put on if you're driving somewhere. You can't sleep in the middle of the night. They are more adult related. They're not as craft related. But I do think it's fun to have the outlet. Coming up next week, we are going to be handling night sessions with me and Melissa B on Melissa's channel. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Again, it'll be Thursday at 10. Melissa will be selecting the 3 segments that we'll go over. And let's see. Tomorrow, as you guys know, in the crafting community, we will be joining Mickey Sunshine Creates. She goes live on Fridays. J Rob goes live. That is DP Addiction Adventures. Mrs. Coffee. After Mrs. Coffee, we do have a pop up. It's no longer a pop up though. She's been going pretty regularly. Crafts with Crashly. And after that, our very own Drea, bringing a diamond paint.
Raya!
She's doing her pop up. So let's wish her well. Let's make sure we show up and offer her some support. Going into the weekend, if you guys are interested, we do still every Saturday do the crafting Zoom. That is that it's hosted by Marissa or whoever. If she has something to do, she'll hand it off to one of the the usual suspects, myself or Stephanie. We usually attend. Rachel Ray. We usually attend every week, so one of us, will take the helm if we have to. So stay tuned there. And then on Sunday morning, we do start off, kick it off with Crafting Journey. It used to be Crafting Journey with Rebecca. In case any of you guys are wondering, she did update that. She dropped the with Rebecca. I believe Jinjin's Creations Wall, she still goes live on Sunday mornings as well. At noon is the Crafters Book Club. If you guys are interested in joining, that is being hosted by Crafting Journey with Rebecca. The book that we are reading is The Darker Side of Magic, and that is by V.E. Schwab. If you are interested, it is a young adult book. Young adult meaning it's like a junior high to high school book, and there are usually no adult themes or anything in these types of books. It's kind of slow going. I started off like the first chapter. It is that's where the question, what kind of spice do I need? I definitely need some spice in my life. If anybody is interested, I am going to be reading this week Sherilyn Kenyon's Night Pleasures. I will give you a small review or overview of that next week with Melissa. Um, that's where I am. I just needed some spice. I'm like, man, I need an adult theme or something right now. And it's a period piece also. So times were more innocent, and I'm already on the sweeter, innocent side. So because of that, I needed just a little more spice. That's all. Also,
Oh,
diamond painting with Dave. Let's see. Oh, Billy, are you still in here? Billy, are you still live tomorrow? Because I think Billy is live Friday mornings as well. If he's still in here. Uh, I think Billy has started going live on Fridays. If you guys are wanting to catch him, obviously, we need more men in our lives. We need more men in our crafting lives. And so, shout out to Billy. Shout out to Jeremy. Jeremy was in here a little while ago. Also, Robert. Robert is starting to be one of my fast favorite fans. I love that he comes in. He supports us even through the crazy adult themes. Billy is here. He is live tomorrow, 10:30 a.m. Pacific. Okay, so I thought so. I thought that you were Friday mornings. There we go. So that kind of takes us into Sunday. Sunday evening, we go live with Crashly. We also have
wait a
Diamond
minute.
Day.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Is Jeremy going live tomorrow?
He told me the last time I asked, he told me he was. I don't like to talk about Jeremy's Saturday Night Lives, right? It's not a safe place.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I know it's not a safe place, but he's been going live in the mornings on Friday, so I wasn't sure if he was going live this Friday or not, because we didn't want to forget about our Jeremy.
So just so you guys are aware, my mom is probably one of Jeremy's biggest fans. And during hunting season, he doesn't go live every Saturday night. But she had got to a point where he had become a part of her Saturday routine. And she is discombobulated on Saturdays right now. Me and Melissa were trying to talk last week, and she just kind of lost it. And there's no Jeremy. I don't even know I got this candy here, and I just, so I'm trying not to remind her that that things are out of sort and her routine is interrupted. He was live last Friday in the morning, and she was just like, "What is he doing on at this time?" So
I'm watching
it's
my show.
exactly. So what I have to actually do, guys, is um, I have to get her tablet set up to where she knows how to just go in and watch any of his videos and things like that, instead of her setting her schedule to, watch him at a certain time. She can just get notified of whenever he has videos, and I haven't done that. So I have owned that that is my fault, because who else is, going to do it? But yeah, she loves his stories. So whenever I'm in
Mary
Zoom,
Jane.
exactly, Mary Jane, she loves the stories about Mary Jane and how cantankerous she can be sometimes. So it's really my fault, because I'll be in a Zoom, and then we'll get off and we'll watch his videos and things. And then she just has her routine down. She definitely has her routine. And I like that she is really embracing our crafting community. When she came out here after my stepdad passed, she didn't have a lot of friends. She didn't have a routine, like aside from cooking for him and things like that. She was doing some private duty, CNA work as well. That really was like the bulk of her day. Coming out here, she didn't have to work that, extra. She did get my dad's pension and things like that. And, just trying to do some things different so that there wasn't much of a reminder. She started to really embrace a lot of the YouTube creators that I follow. Jeremy's one of her favorites. She follows him the most, which I think is cute. She's just out of sorts that right now. That's all. But I gotta do a little bit better at setting up the notifications so she can just watch whatever video he posts and things. So that's what I'm gonna do. Oh, hey, Bud Layton, girl, you was a little late, but that's okay. You'll have to make sure to catch the replay. Um, make sure you catch the replay. I'm going to get off from here. I'm going to check on the orange hubby and see if everything is okay. How did he get it? Somebody named Hope gave it to him.
Hope. What's her name? Hang on here. Um, it was. Well, come on. It
What?
was Hope Hicks. So it was
Okay.
the
Wow.
um. What's her? What does she do? I forget what she is. Hope Hicks is
I'm going to have to look it
one
up.
of his advisors or something like that.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know a whole lot about him. Nor
Yeah,
did you know.
I'm going to look it up. I was shocked. Um, oh, I'm right here. Oh, I barely made it. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and call that our night. I'm gonna, check around. It is kind of late, but thank you all for coming out. I really appreciate you guys supporting our night sessions. We'll be back on next Thursday, 10 p.m. That is Pacific time. Yes. um, and I'm glad that we cut it in half. Well, more than half. We went almost 5 hours last week. That was a shock. We just had a ball, and we were chit chatting and talking and things like that, just like tonight. But at least tonight, we came pretty ready. We knew what we wanted to talk about tonight. So thank you again for supporting us, guys, and you have a great rest of your evening. Bye, bye, Melissa. Bye, Mindy.
Bye. Thanks, everybody. Take care.
I can't see nothing. I'm going blind, girl. Look at the bags.
You and your bags.
Yeah, bags. But here we go. Here we go. Now I can turn us off now. I didn't have my stuff.